All right, everyone. We are here for episode 12 of Stub Luv Live. I am pumped for tonight's episode. We have got Steve Mancini on from Paperloss_perfection. I see Steve has asked to join. Let's get him on.
Howard,
There he is, the man. What's going on?
what's up, Stub Love?
Hey, good to have you on, Steve. Really excited. Let me fix this camera a little bit. All right. So I wore my Villanova shirt tonight. He's got the Sixers City of Brotherly Love jersey on, the Maxi jersey. Yeah. So I appreciate you coming on, Steve. So let's kind of chat a little bit. I don't know if people, I know a lot of people know you. What I also know is that everyone that knows you likes you because you're just a good dude. But tell everybody a little bit about what your focus is of your ticket collecting.
Nice. So my focus is really, it started with Philadelphia. As you kind of mentioned, I'm a huge Philadelphia fan, 4 for 4 guy, as we like to say here in the city. And then it really spread from there because I really love the moments. That's one of the big things that I'm into, and so outside of the Philly thing, it started like a little bit at a time. Hey, this moment and that moment, and so I just been building on that, and when the top 100 came off, that really kicked it off because then I just really just wanted to get them all, and which is next to impossible, but we could try, right?
It is next to impossible. I mean, I think some of the moments on that list, I think most of them are obtainable. I'm not so sure that all those debuts are, but I know some people that are pretty close to putting together all 100, minus a couple here and there. But that's impressive. I'm glad that you're chasing it. I'm glad that you followed it. Um, Other than tickets, Steve, do you collect anything else, or is it just really tickets?
So I started the hobby, as like a lot of people did when I was a lot younger, with cards. And the thing with the cards was, so once again, I like things that tell a story. So that's what draws me to the moment. So I tried to do that with cards. And so I was in the set registry and I collected like all-time Philadelphia sports, like all-time Eagles, all-time Flyers. I actually put a lot of those sets together for PSA, like how you can request them. And I was number one for a long time. But then, it was one of those things where the cards, they still didn't really tell the story for me. So I decided, to get out of that, and I actually sold them all. And that is definitely a regret because, like, I had the Wilt rookie, and I had some monsters, and it was before COVID. I had them for a long time, and so I kind of sold them, and then they exploded. I could probably have some killer tickets, maybe a Jackie if I had all my cards back, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And then I have a lot of signed photos because what I like to do, once again, and what I love about the ticket is I put it together with a signed photo if possible. And then that really helps tell the story. So when I have friends over the house and they're checking out the basement and they're like, "Oh, dude, this is awesome," and they can immediately relate the ticket to the photo, and the story then begins. And so like that's what I've tried to accomplish.
Well, when we were chatting a little bit before in preparation for this, Steve, one of the things that I thought was, and you didn't want to give too much of it away, but I can see it in the background.
Hmm.
So show us your man cave there because I got to tell you, Steve, it looks crazy impressive.
All right. So like I said, the one thing that I try to do, and I'll zoom in on this, but I try to put things together to tell a story. So what you kind of see there is World Series moments. So of course, no ticket collections complete without a Babe Ruth called shot. Now, obviously, I don't have the cash to have a signed Ruth, print, but I found something cool that would go with it. But we have the Mazurowski, Kirk Gibson, and honestly, I prefer signed if I can find them. So at some point, like we have the Carlton Fisk, Stay Fair. You'll notice that stub is not signed, but so there gives me an opportunity to maybe upgrade at some point. Buckner. Reggie Jackson.
Larson, perfect game. You got a
Yeah.
lot of great ones. Wow.
Yeah. And then I'd like to do simple stuff like this. So one of my favorites is the Athletics. I wish they would have stayed in Philadelphia and maybe we could have got rid of the Phillies with 10,000 plus losses. I mean, because we had a real winner there. And so this one's cool. So 1932 World Series, for those that don't know. It was what's called the Mack Attack game. So, and what's cool is we have this card here that was done by the Lachlan. It was put out in 1967, and it did cool like historical moments, and it shows you what happened in the game. So I tied that together with the ticket, with the Connie Mack and the Jimmy Fox. And for those that don't know, it was a 10-run comeback. They were down eight runs and they scored 10 runs in one inning, and everything that could have went wrong did, including like losing a ball in the lights and just like people just flying around the bases. So crazy stuff like that. A little bit more on the Connie Mack letter, 1932 World Series. This is a pass. Okay, which is cool because it's it was used in all, so games 3, 4, and 5. So the number 4 was that Mac Attack game. Number 5 is the clincher. Little full of the final game at Connie Mack Stadium. Pride and joy of my collection. See, my mom, who got me into sports memorabilia collecting. She worked for Budget Rent a Car, and she was into sports marketing. So she would do a lot of trade. If the Eagles needed buses for camp, she would provide them, and then they would do sponsorships, advertising. So Reggie White and my mom became friends, and so one day at the end of the season, he goes to my mom. He throws her this shoe after he signed it. He says, "Here, give this to your son. Might be worth money someday." And so I was a huge Reggie fan. So there you see a couple signed cards, Reggie and Jerome. He got his USFL debut ticket in the back. That's a stub, but
Wow.
pretty cool.
I got to tell you, Steve, people are commenting that the presentation is everything. Awesome man cave. I mean, I got to tell you, Steve, the frames with the tickets and the photo, I mean, it's so clean, the presentation. I don't really like to display stuff, but when I see folks that do, like you, and it's clean and it looks good, yeah, I love it. It's awesome,
So
dude.
how did this ticket not make the top 100? I really got to know. I mean, if I'm not a big debut guy, but there's some moments that make a lot of sense. And Iverson, he's on the ticket. I mean, it's the home opener of the new
Yeah,
was it First Union Center at the time. It's
yeah.
just beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, Steve, I mean, the room looks great. If you can pull it back and let's just kind of, yeah, see some more. Yeah. I mean, just the way you have it set up, it's just so clean, so nice. I mean, you just got great stuff there. And I could see when friends would come over, they would be enthralled and really impressed. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, yeah. Looks good, Steve.
Yeah, yeah. This is all like a milestone moments. That was kind of like what over here is dedicated to.
Wow, that's awesome. Just looks great. So the Ricky and Ricky Steals, Pete Rose hit, Cal Ripken 2-1-3-1, but just the clean neatness of the
Yeah.
display and the way it looks great, Steve.
Thank
Looks
you.
great. So let's bring it back. Let me ask you this: what was the first ticket that you put together as part of the collection? Do you remember?
Well, outside of the ones that I collected when I was a kid, let's dismiss them. The first one, and this is crazy because I still have it, and it's also one of my biggest regrets is when you get into something like ticket collecting, as you better know what you're doing, or you're going to potentially make mistakes. Now, this wasn't necessarily my mistake, but it's your favorite people PSA. So the first ticket I bought was if you read the flip, what does that say?
My eyes are terrible, Steve, but I'm
Okay,
sure it says something like it's the clincher from the '83 championship for the
you
Sixers.
got it. Except this ain't the right ticket. So this is from home game 3, which didn't happen. Okay, so number 2 would be the one that we won here. So, while I didn't spend a fortune for this, it still hurt. It wasn't nothing. I spent maybe $500 for this ticket. Like I said, it was first one really getting into tickets. I'm like, oh, found this clincher. Like, yes, this is awesome. And then I have it on display, and a friend of mine who's another ticket collector from Philadelphia takes a look and says, dude, that's the wrong game. What do you mean it's the wrong game? PSA Authenticate, that's an 8, bro. It's like, dude, I'm telling you, it's the wrong game. How embarrassing is that? You know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that goes to show you, you gotta not hang out with other ticket collectors. You gotta hang out with
Yeah, because
people who
no one
don't
would have
know.
known. I could be dumb,
Right.
fat, and happy, right?
Yeah, everyone else would have been excited. So, talk to me about some tickets. I know you have some great ones. I think you have a full Reggie White USFL debut. I don't know if you brought that with you.
Well, I don't anymore because so that's one of the cool stories. I found that ticket and I actually sold, I had found 2 of them and I paid $30.
Oh,
It's one of those things
wow.
you could search eBay all the time, and so I search for Philadelphia tickets. That is my niche. You can't search for everything I found, so you just gotta settle in. And one day, a pair of those popped up. I was shaking. I was like, oh my God, this is it. And then so I smashed the buy it now button as fast as I possibly can. And now I'm worried someone's going to contact whoever and tell them, like, hey, you know what you're selling there. And but they honored it. They showed up, and literally I was
The
freaking out.
the
And
the
then
the the, the poachers didn't get to them.
no.
Yeah.
And so it went off the PSA, got graded, and then someone at Boogers actually ended up buying both of them.
Wow.
And so he has cornered the market. There are no other fulls, and so they live within Booger's community, but not with me. And then I found the stub, so I do
Right.
have the stub, but not the fulls anymore.
Okay. Um, is there a ticket that you have that's not necessarily a big money ticket, but a ticket that for you, for your collection, that you just wouldn't sell because it's a fun or cool ticket for Steve Mancini?
Yeah, I got 2 here for you. One is so back in the early 2000s, I worked as a photographer for my own website that I created called Philly Sports Line. I tried to get into the business of sports media really to support my hobby of photography. I was totally into it. So I used to go to the Eagles games and actually shoot from the stands.
Wow.
And one of because I couldn't get credentials at the time, and while I did end up getting credentials to the Sixers, so I was on the floor for some really cool for years, and a couple other of the teams I could never get the Eagles or the Phillies. But while I was in the stands, this is when the Eagles won the NFC Championship game, and if you remember in this game, Dawkins lays out Algie Crumpler, and I actually caught that shot with, I have a picture of it, and then Dawkins signed this, not in my house.
That's great.
Brian Dawkins, awesome.
That's great. That's an awesome ticket.
And then the other ones over here, I'll flip real quick and just show
Okay.
you. This is from Monday Night Football, and I remember laying in bed back in 1991. It was probably like a freshman or so in high school, and this was the House of Pain game.
I remember
And
that
so
game. Yeah.
Seth Joyner had 101 fever, barely didn't even know if he was going to play. Comes on and actually dominates. And if you remember the Houston Oilers back in the day, run and shoot offense with Haywood, Jeffries, and dude, they were unstoppable. So I actually got Seth Joyner to sign that at a golf course when I was playing golf with him, and he said, "We brought the pain."
What a great inscription. That's awesome.
Two, two,
Um,
two great tickets.
yeah, those are great tickets. So what's still has eluded you? What's the hunt still on for?
Yeah, so I would say the one I really would like to add to the collection is the Wilt 100. But you got to do things within reason. Last year, my focus was getting the Called Shot ticket. So it took me all year, and then the right opportunity came around. And actually, I was able to meet somebody in person. It actually wasn't too far away. I got a pretty good deal on it. So and it's a beautiful version. And so at some point, I say if I can get the Called Shot, I think I can get the Wilt 100-point game. And I love it when it has the Philadelphia tie. And obviously that one, Wilt has a Philadelphia tie, so I got to acquire it.
Oh yeah. Um, Pretty pricey ticket, but one that's eluded me too. I kind of feel like some years ago, it was one of those records that no one was ever going to touch. Like, who's going to score 100 points in a
Yeah.
game? But, now some of these guys, maybe a little more frequently than it used to be, they're scoring 70 points. I'm not so sure that record couldn't be broken on like a really significant night by like a Luka.
Hmm.
Maybe he could do it. So I don't know. I mean, I've kind of I've always wanted it because like I'm a big Philly guy. I'm a big Wilt guy. Um, what do you think is maybe the most overrated ticket hobby wide? I mean, I hear people. I heard someone today. I had a conversation with someone today. I won't say who, but he actually said that he thought the Ruth Called Shot ticket was the most overrated ticket in ticket collecting. And candidly, Steve, I almost hung up on him because I think it's nonsense. I mean, I think that's one of the coolest, one of the greatest tickets in ticket collecting. So, what's your thoughts? What's the most overrated?
I'm going to generalize and say the debut
Just
and just go across the board. I think the debut is being tied to as a rookie card from all the people that collected baseball cards throughout the year, and I get it. It's the first time that they walked onto the field and things of that nature. But I, I just don't know. For at least for me, it's not worth chasing. Except for the rare instances. Jackie Robinson, the first time he broke the color barrier, like that is a moment in itself for that debut. So in those certain situations, I think a debut can be extremely special. But just debut chasing to chase, it isn't for me. But that's okay because everybody has something that they're into.
yeah. Um, Other than an Eagles Super Bowl ticket, or one of our few championship tickets, what do you think or what do you think is the most underrated ticket in the hobby right now?
Um, that's a good question. You know what I'll say, and this is maybe a lesser known ticket, but I'll throw it out there. Um, I really think that the Flyers against the Russians is a really underrated ticket. Um, I mean, the Broad Street Bullies. I mean, I'm keeping it Philly for you, but the reality is, this was a big time moment back in the Cold War, when everybody was anti-Russia and there was a lot of tension, and with the nuclear race and everything like that. And the story in this game is just awesome, where Van Imp knocks out their best player, spreads them out on the ice. We completely dominate them. They leave. The rumor has it that Ed Snyder chases them back in the locker room. Now, whether this happens or not, it's kind of like the Called Shot. No one really knows the actual truth there, but basically threatens them, saying you're not getting paid unless you get back on the ice. And the Flyers end up winning that game, and they were the only team to beat the Russian Army team that year. And I just think it's a really really cool moment in time.
Yeah, if you've ever watched, people out there, the HBO special on the Broad Street Bullies, there's a part of that talks about that game, and I agree with you, Steve. It's incredibly memorable. I mean, not just for Philadelphia Philadelphians, but also for anyone because it was
Hmm.
pretty big. I have people commenting that they agree with you about the Brady Bledsoe being a way better ticket than a Brady debut. So I think there's some debut haters that are kind of watching as well. So any real like kind of recent ticket pickups that we can chat about? Like what's the latest couple of things that Paperloss underscore perfection has acquired?
So I haven't posted this one yet. I just acquired this one, and it's out there. But one of the top of the World Trade Center
Oh,
tickets.
very cool.
This this is a stub, and honestly, I was looking for a stub because the fulls are so gigantic, and then they come in the giant when you grade them, and they're in the giant holder. Then I can't frame them up properly, and I want to put it with this ticket from when the Mets played the Phillies and it went to extra innings, and ultimately they announced the death of Osama bin Laden. And this is signed by the Navy SEAL and Rob O'Neill, and he put USA, 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 which was what was chanted in the stands when people figured that out,
Yeah.
which was awesome. And then another one that I just picked up was the Immaculate Reception.
Oof.
Good looking stub. This will get framed up and put up on the wall. Um,
I
but
see I
yeah.
see a I see a lot of that Steelers logo, Steve, and that's what people
Hmm.
are looking for. So that's a nice one.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a staple hole and it does have some writing on it, but the writing doesn't bother me. I mean, that means someone cared, um, which is funny because when it comes to fulls or stubs, man, that's why I'm all in on the stub. Um, I get the beauty of the full, but I want something that was there. So that's kind of when I thought about the name for Instagram, Paper Loss Perfection. I kind of like the beat up stuff,
Yeah.
and that's perfection to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I like the name too, and I kind of hear you. It was there. It was in the
Mhm.
building. It got to feel it. It got to hear it. It got to see it, as opposed to one that kind of got left at home because someone didn't go. Um, Anything else you got to show us there, and then maybe we'll sling you into the gauntlet, Steve, and see how you do.
Sure. I just say this. I'll show you. This isn't a valuable ticket, but this is what's cool about ticket collecting. So I think you actually might be hunting this ticket. So this is the Phillies, and from the 2008 World Series. So this is their first home game. And if you think that let me just tell you what happened here. The moments, the multiple moments. It starts with Steve Carlton throwing out the first pitch. Then there's someone named Taylor Swift comes in, sings the national anthem. Then for those who don't know, Tug McGraw was a great Phillies reliever back in the day. Well, he had passed away from cancer, so his son Tim McGraw, the music star, spreads his ashes on the mound that game. Okay? I mean, crazy stuff. Then there was the first walk-off infield single in World Series history to win the game. So, I mean, boy, moment after moment after moment, and most people would not know. This isn't a clincher. It's not, not anything special, but like that. But that's what's cool. It doesn't have to be like the 10,000 or 20,000 or $200,000 ticket for you to enjoy it. It's reliving those moments, thinking about and finding all those little pieces that you might not know from a box score.
Yeah. And let me tell you something, Steve. Just given that story, I mean, I can see how committed you are to it. It kind of comes out of you, and that's what's so beautiful about ticket collecting. So,
Hmm.
um, I think everyone that kind of comes into contact with you understands and appreciates your passion for this. So, when passion sees passion, it's exciting. Um, let's run the gauntlet, Steve. We've been going for about 20 plus minutes. I like to kind of keep them a little short so people
Hmm.
can watch them and pay attention. Um, I think you've answered some of them, but let's do it. So run the gauntlet with me. Stub or full?
So stub for me all day long. You can keep your fulls to the people with tons of money. I'll slap up all the stubs.
PSA Beckett or no slab at all?
Boy, that's a tough one. So I kind of use both of them. I do like the PSA slab. I do like the set registry. I would love to see a top 100 in the set registry, but the flip and the customization on the Beckett tickets, it just allows you to do so much and tell more of the story, like the body bag game. Like people know the body bag game, but I was able to put on there 6 Redskins injured and Reggie White's first interception. Like I think little things like that can add value, and then to that could maybe give a little bump to Beckett, maybe in the lower end tickets that people don't quite know about.
Hey, Sean Doherty, you hear what Steve said? We need a set registry for the top 100. So
Absolutely.
we got to talk about that and get on it. I know your answer to this, but let's do it. Debuts or moments?
Moments all day long.
I know. And I think I know the answer to this one. Signed tickets or unsigned tickets?
I love signed anything. So I love a signature. So yeah. Now you can ruin a ticket by getting it signed improperly. I've done it myself. And you know, sometimes, especially when you send things away and you don't necessarily have control, and even sometimes when you do have control, they don't sign it the way you ask. But yeah, if it's done right, boy, it makes it pop.
I agree. I agree. PSA 10 ticket or a PSA Pop 1 ticket?
Uh, Pop one for me. I don't know that anybody's ever going to answer this PSA 10, honestly.
Okay. Okay. Worst Philly sports moment: the 93 Joe Carter walk-off home run or the 2021 Kawhi Leonard shot over the 76ers in the playoffs?
Love that question. So the 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 Joe Carter walk off hurt a lot, and you know the Wild thing really blew it there. But my it's funny because on my wall I have the Kawhi Leonard shot, and you're going to say, Steve, I don't know if you noticed that it's there in my NBA, and the reason I have it there is because I believe that that moment may have transformed Joel Embiid into one of the greatest players ever. Now I know he's a controversial guy, but he wept on that court from that play as that ball bounced 4 times before going in. And I think he realized that he needed to do more. And now, granted, injuries have hampered him, but I think he's figuring it out. He's gotten better every year, and he's going to bring a championship to Philadelphia. So the
Amen.
the
Amen,
Carter
brother.
thing was terrible, but yeah, that 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 moment was special.
It's
I
kind of
think for different.
kind of funny, you know. I can't stand the Joe Carter moment. I can't watch it, but it's been a while. It's 93. That Kawhi moment to me, Steve, it still resonates. And ugh, ugh, I don't know. Julius Irving or Allen Iverson?
Oh, AI. I'm a huge AI
Woo,
fan.
wow.
I mean, look, we're talking about practice, right? I actually posted that on my story today. I saw that pop up. AI was a unique player. I mean, Julius was great. You know, the dunk. I had this rookie card in there. I actually have it signed. It's amazing. He was amazing. But I think, changed the game a little bit. And the dude's heart was so big that he became one of my favorite Sixers of all time. So
Yeah,
I'll go AI.
mine too. So would you throw snowballs at Santa Claus during a Philadelphia Eagles game, brother?
Well, it depends on the circumstance. I mean, if my Santa Claus is drunk and all messed up and not really representing, then he's got to get pounded.
Spoken like a true Philly fan.
Raining
Last
down
one.
from.
Is the Philly special the greatest play in Super Bowl history?
Oh yeah. First of all, that Super Bowl I think was the best Super Bowl in Super Bowl history, and so whether the Philly special was or not, you know, that could be debated. But that Super Bowl was unbelievable, back and forth, the amount of points scored, beating Brady, one of the best all time, and really the Philly special was a copy of something that actually New England did earlier in the game, which made it that much better. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll say yes.
I'll say yes too. Well, Steve Mancini, thank you for running the gauntlet. Thank you for being on Stub Luv Live. I can't tell you how honored I am to have you on. You are a good dude. I hope to see you out in
Oh,
Cleveland.
Oh
Everyone
man.
check out Steve's page, Paperloss_perfection. He's on Boogers. Dynamite dude. Hope to hang out with you in Cleveland, my man.
I look forward to it. Best time ever last year, and I look forward for years to come.
Nice talking with you, brother. Talk to you
Yeah.
soon.
Thanks a
All right,
lot.
be
Take it
well.
easy, everyone.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.